Hello and welcome to The Bottom Line here on TVP World. This is where we unpack some of the main business and economic stories of the day. Today we are at the Warsaw Global Investors Summit. I'm here with my team. You can probably hear some noise in the background. I'm joined by Jarosław Dąbrowski, who is a member of the management board at the BGK Bank, which is the equivalent of the Polish Development Bank. Today we want to talk about investment in Poland and really how to boost it in this time of Poland's economic success. So we're going to get to it right now. Hello and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So we are in this very interesting time of this post-election period in Poland. It's been an interesting and busy time, and I just wanted to start by asking you whether you feel that this period, the near future, perhaps is a time of a new chapter of opportunities, or is it a combination of new challenges for Poland, especially from that investment point of view?
Well, Poland is a great success. In a sense, I'm a product of that success, the transformation of Poland, which began, as you know, in 1989 with the first elections. And then, it rolled over to the scale and size, which is unprecedented in the world. We are the second, in terms of economic growth, country in the world after China. Our growth has been laid on a very big enthusiasm, ambition and entrepreneurial spirit of the Polish nation. So I think we must be optimistic because, the last 30 years has been challenging, no doubts about that. But despite that, we were able to reach such a success. It's 3.4 times GDP growth. So the wealth of Poland, of Polish nation, of Polish citizens, is more than three times bigger than we started our transformation. So I think, we are able to cope with the challenges which are clearly ahead of us, because it's not only the elections in Poland, but also war against Ukraine. It's a tariffs war, but also it's a change in the geopolitical world, which definitely will affect Poland and Europe. But I see this as a challenge rather than an obstacle.
Your bank, the Polish Development Bank, also is able to access some new funds, as we spoke just before the interview. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and perhaps what opportunities that brings with it?
Yeah, BGK, Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego, is one of the pearl of the Polish financial sector. We have almost 100 years of experience working for the development of Poland and the Polish nation. Now we are a very modern bank, top 5 in Europe, top 5 development bank in Europe, and we are also top 3 Polish bank in terms of equity. So there is enough balance sheet and profit and capital to finance Polish growth. And Polish growth, as we said, it was a fantastic story the last 30 years. But, that economic model which brought such a success and prosperity to Polish nation must be, in a hopefully evolutionary way, changed. From the one which was basing on the, cheaper labor, ambitions, productivity, cheaper assets, into the one which is based on innovation, smartness, and AI.
This investor summit that we're attending today has really highlighted some great numbers, and they're not just numbers for the sake of numbers, but it really highlights what a wonderful case study Poland is. So I was wondering whether you could just highlight some of those numbers that you mentioned as you were sitting on that panel, just to highlight what a wonderful case study Poland's economy is.
Well, as I said, Poland is the second best country in the last 30 years in terms of building up wealth of the nation, of the country. In the cumulative GDP growth, we are number 2 in the world after China. We also more than tripled the size of GDP. By the way, this is the best time for Poland since end of 17th century, can you believe? So we have done more than in the last 200 years. But of course, Polish nation is very ambitious, impatient, and rightly so, because we are still a mid-sized country. So we have to catch up. We don't have big resources, but we need to build the new wealth based on what we have the best. And the best is that it's a stable, growing economy, the best this year in European Union, 3.3%, and hopefully we will even reach 3.5, 3.7%. The average is much lower, obviously. In Germany, we have black zero, probably a slight recession, even still, with a hope, of course, to build up GDP growth. So the success of Poland has strong pillars, but we have also challenges. One of the challenges, of course, demography. We are losing, on demography, we are losing people, but also that means that we may have, and we have, in fact, shortage of the labor force. Yeah, so we have to be smart. We have to invest in robotics, in AI, and in other solutions which will allow Poland not only work hard and Poles to work hard, but to use robots, AI, and other applications. And it is actually it is progressing in Poland. Maybe we are not in the world economy the biggest investor in innovation, but for instance in Central and Eastern Europe, and we are a niche player, mid-sized country, we are number one. Last year, it was announced a report regarding digital economy in Central and Eastern Europe by a foundation called Digital Poland, and it is obvious that Poland produces, and has produced 50% of digital champions in Central and Eastern Europe. So there is a basis for further growth. What we need is a stability, of course, deregulation, what is being doing now, the team around Mr. Brzoska and the Prime Minister. But at the same time, also, we need to have a lot of money invested into economy, because being just smart and working hard is not enough. Money is a crucial element of success.
Absolutely, and investments are that one area where Poland is still lagging behind, and one of the government's priorities has been to boost investment. And I wanted to ask you, is there a chance for investments to really take off this year, or is it something that we have to wait for 2026, 2027?
Let me start with our bank, because I think our mission is to fuel up investment in economy in Poland. Actually, we are to move forward Poland. Yeah, that's our mission statement. And of course, we are not only lending to the economy. We one of the biggest lenders to corporates and to projects, especially in transformation of energy, but not only, also in various type of logistics, industrial products, etc., etc. But also what we have realized is that bank of our size and mission must fuel up innovation. And innovation is it's a very challenging and very difficult area to finance it through a normal banking products like debt or guarantee. So that's why we need equity. Equity is a cornerstone of financing innovation. And our bank agreed with the supervisory board and the government, because it's a state-owned bank, that in the next 5 years we will invest at least 1 billion euro equivalent in Polish zlotys into innovation through investment into investment funds, fund of funds, but also direct investment of the bank. On the top of that, it is our aim, but also my personal challenge to accumulate other money, private and public, from other sources, because the smart approach is to mobilize private capital and outside Poland public capital and blend it with Polish money, with the BGK money. That's exactly my aim. So I want to not only invest 4 billion into economy, into innovation and competitiveness, but I want to invite and engage
Bring in that
external.
investment.
Absolutely. I wanna have money from abroad, from European Investment Bank, from European Investment Fund, but from EBRD Bank and other private sources.
And how is that going? Asking you in absolute
Not
layman
bad,
terms.
not bad. I think, as I said, Poland is a large country. It's seen as a stable country. Hope to remain it. But what is important is that, we have a highly skilled and educated, not only workforce, but also engineers, students, ambitious people who want to achieve something.
So are
and
you
that's
saying
why the
that
money is coming to Poland.
So are you saying it's easy to attract investors into Poland?
Nothing is easy. You have to work hard. But obviously, Poland has a very solid arguments to sort of bring in, to invite and to be invested as a country.
So I wanted to ask, how realistic do you think it is to reach that goal of 25% of GDP in investment form?
Well, it's a very ambitious target, but our neighbors like Czechs or even Hungarians are there. So why should we sort of resign from that goal? I think goals are about ambition, about direction. But of course, what is very important is what is the process towards achieving those goals. And this is, of course, the open question. Maybe not question, but open challenge, I would say. First of all, we need to invest more into economy because the savings are there. The savings in Poland, if you look at Europe, are not the highest because Poles were converting savings into assets, cars, houses, whatever, you name it. So that's why the level of savings in Poland, and Polish nature is that, we want to buy, we want to consume, which is not bad because consumption is very important pillar of Polish GDP growth. But investments are I think, the key of the game for the next 5 years. On our side, we are committed to invest a pile of money, not only ours money from the balance sheet, and we are highly profitable and well-capitalized bank. Our capital is 42 billion zlotys, and our so-called capital ratio, which means stability ratio in a sense, it's almost 30%. On average, Polish banks have 15%. So we have enough money, and there is enough savings and enough deposits in our bank. But what is very important is to mobilize private banks' money into investment. And I think it's one of the goals of the current government, how to make it, maybe with the deregulation, maybe with some other fixing up in the field of taxes, maybe incentives, etc., etc.
I just wanted to ask about deregulation. Do you think that deregulation is a real obstacle, or has it become a little bit of an excuse when it comes to investment?
I think it's both, but if you want to be very competitive on bringing capital to Poland, but also mobilizing Polish investors' money, we need to be as slim as possible and deregulate it as much as we can. I think we need to be a pioneer in the regulation, and it goes in line with the aim of the government. This very famous team of Mr. Brzoska, a successful entrepreneur who knows the world, but also who knows how to make money and pay taxes, which is very important because he always emphasized that as the Polish company, a Poland-based company, he pays a pile of taxes. Very good. So I think it's both. But on the other hand, if we want to really attract capital, we need to be, as I said, as flexible, as deregulated as possible, because Poland is not the front runner of savings in Europe. Actually, we are the third lowest country. Wow. Below us, it's only Romania, I think, and Bulgaria. So from this point of view, we need to do everything what is possible to make sure that investors are coming, investing and producing wealth, also jobs for Poles, but also for robots.
Absolutely. And in what areas do you think that Poland can really excel when it comes to investment? Because there are areas that Poland is already doing very well in. Perhaps there are areas that Poland can really actually get going, and then areas that perhaps Poland hasn't developed its potential in yet.
Well, all these traditional areas where Poland was quite competitive, we should do our best to stay competitive. For instance, food and agri industry. It's a tremendous growth in Poland since we joined European Union. It's one of the biggest Polish success. It's not only exporting goods, but also it's exporting processed products. And on the top of that, also machinery. We are one of the biggest producers of machinery for food and agri industry and for agriculture in Europe. And actually, we started to export it to Africa, to Asia, etc. So, we have to make sure that the existing competitive advantages, that means industries where we are one of the best in Europe, we are taking positions worldwide, must be kept. How? By investing into various type of innovation, robotics, maybe AI combined, etc.
Space industry.
Absolutely. But on the top of that, we also have to create new advantages. And one of them is, for instance, space tech or space tech. Space tech means that this is a lighter version of the space industry. And actually, you know, we had as a bank last week a very important conference for 25 other development banks from all over Europe. And we had a discussion panel how to invest in innovation, at the same time make sure that the security and defense of our countries, including Poland, is preserved. And you know, we invited a very interesting company called ICEYE. It's a Polish-Finnish company.
We've spoken to them before.
Exactly. You know, and it was a fantastic story of what European Union blended with money and talents from Poland.
Very
and
great
ability
talents,
to
yeah.
cooperate. Well, what is important is just to use it, you know, to utilize it, to invest into various type of cooperation schemes. Because Poland is a mid-sized country, you know, we don't have resources like Saudi Arabia, we don't have size like America, so we need to be smart. We need to invest in the best possible manner. And guys like Rafał Modrzewski, a founder of ICEYE, is the ultimate proof that combination of the Polish talent, but also ability to cooperate. We are on the crossroads. We must be part of something bigger, something more exciting, but also something more productive. So, you know, cooperation with other nations, with other investors, with other companies is, I think, cornerstone of the Polish future. You know, we cannot be inward thinking. We have to be really, you know, looking outside and try to accumulate money, systems, but also markets.
Okay. Jarosław Dąbrowski, thank you so much for joining us. You're a member of the management board, and it sounds like you're doing a lot to bring Polish investment inward and also outward. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And that was the bottom line for today. Just a reminder, we are at the Warsaw Global Investors Summit, and TVP World is actually a patron of this event. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you follow us on social media, and make sure you stay tuned to TVP World for lots of exclusive analysis and interviews. Goodbye.